Hi everyone in American Warrior Radio Land. It's Garen Cohn. I have an urgent matter for you. In a couple days, the Secretary of the VA is about to make a very wide-reaching change that is more than likely going to be negative in rating disability cases. I'm going to make it real easy. Whenever an agency in the federal government, VA being one of them, wants to change their rules, because you have statutes, then you have the code, tells the agency what their rules are, and then you have the manual, those are their rules. They want to change their manual, their rules. They have to put it all together in all legalese, get it published in the Federal Register, and it has to stay there for 60 days so that other organizations, lawyers and such can comment, whether it's a positive comment or a negative comment. Then that agency must review those before they make their final rule. Nope. Secretary Collins is sidestepping that. He is issuing on the 17th, that's right, 17th of February, an interim final rule. Here's what he says. I'll get to the heart of the matter in a moment, but this regulation is needed immediately to minimize the negative impact of erroneous line of cases culminating in the recent decision Ingram v. Collins. So he's sidestepping the whole Federal Register business. This is getting published and it goes into effect immediately. Not going to work, people. You need to make some noise. You get a hold of your congressman, whoever can listen. I wouldn't bother talking to the VA because the highest person in the VA, Mr. Collins, Secretary Collins, is the one putting this out there. Now I have Secretary Collins' write-up right here. I'm just going to say this. To ensure that disability evaluations are based on the actual level of functional impairment under the ordinary conditions of daily life, I'm agreeing with that, the medical examiner will not estimate or discount improvements to the disability due to the effects of medication or treatment, whether or not medication or treatment is included within specific rating criteria. If medication, I'm okay with that so far, because let's say you're on medication for a disability and it says for this level of disability and they take this medicine, that's the percentage, the evaluation they get. This level with this medication, this is the evaluation they get. That's fine. The high court said that's fine, but they cannot use it against you. In other words, oh, you're taking medicine now, you're better, so we're going to lower your disability. What I just read you, I'm going to read it over real quick. To ensure that disability evaluations are based on the actual level of functional impairment under the ordinary conditions of daily life, this is all good. This is under 4.10 of the Code of Federal Regulations, 38 CFR 4.10. The medical examiner will not estimate or discount improvements in the disability due to the effects of medication or treatment, whether or not medication or treatment is included within the specific diagnostic criteria. We just went over that. If it's spelled out, take this medicine, get this percentage, they're good with that. I'm fine with what he just wrote there. Then he does this. If medication or treatment lowers the level of disability, the rating will be based on that lowered disability level. No way. Not going to work. Not going to fly. In other words, what he's done is taken Collins v. That's the guy's name, Ingram v. Collins. He's taking that case and turning it up on its head because many, many hundreds of thousands of veterans may be impacted by this. Just imagine if you go to the VA and they give you medicine, and because of the medicine you're better, and you go in for a rating exam. Oh, well, Mr. Joe Veteran, you're taking this medicine, you're better. I'm going to rate you at this better, this lowered level, rather than the actual disability level you'd be at if you weren't on the medication. That's what the Court of Appeals said. Court of Appeals for Veterans Claims said, unless it's specifically stated in the diagnostic criteria, this medicine level, this percentage, you can't use it against the veteran. Secretary Collins is about to do that. He isn't about to, he did it. It's an interim final rule. Nobody gets to comment. It's done. Here's the court case. This is the United States Court of Appeals for Veterans Claims decision, Ingram v. Collins. Very well written. I happen to know the Chief Justice, Chief Justice Allen. He's a good man. We've got a lot of good people on the board up there. Here's what you need to do. Understand that if you're on a medication and it makes your disability better, Secretary Collins now wants to rate on that better level when you're on medication. That isn't what 4.10 says. That isn't what the Court of Appeals for Veterans Claims says. So you got to make some noise, and you need to do it now. You need to do, if you've never made a call to your congressman, now's the time. We're all disabled vets. We're all in this together. If you're a spouse of a disabled vet, if you're a brother, sister, mother, father of a disabled vet, and you want to ensure they get the disability benefits to which they earned and are entitled, make some noise. Call your congressman and say this: Secretary Collins cannot get away with his interim final rule regarding Ingram v. Collins. That's all you got to say. The Secretary cannot get away with his interim final rule. It's that simple. Make some noise, because otherwise a lot of us are going to get screwed. They're going to say, oh, you're taking medicine, so you're better. All right, we'll rate you on that level. No, the entire schedule for rating disabilities since 1945 has been based on the impact a disability has on your occupational and social impairment, basically your activities of daily living. And it's been a good system for a lot of years. Some people have little changes they'd make. It's been pretty good since 1945. This turns it on its head. This turns it on its head. And I'm imagining that the United States Court of Appeals for Veterans Claims, the justices that made this decision, are none too happy with this final interim rule. Get on the horn, call your congressman. Secretary of the VA Collins cannot get away with the interim final rule regarding Ingram v. Collins. Make some noise. It's Garen Cohn with American Warrior Radio. Make some noise. Until next time, don't forget, thank a vet.